Hi, moms. Welcome to Mom Up. I'm so excited. It's May. How was your Mother's Day? I hope that you had a wonderful Mother's Day and you were treated well. You were celebrated for the mom that you are. And more than that, you got to also celebrate yourself. Yesterday, I put a post about just celebrating yourself. You don't have to always wait for other people to do the work. You can also do it for yourself. Have a combination of both being celebrated and also celebrating yourself. So as we wait for other moms to come in, I want to cue the intro and we are going to meet soon. So. Indeed, let's do this. Yeah, let's have a conversation. It's been a long time and I'm going to have that conversation later. But for now, thank you for whoever has joined. Please remember to say hello, say where you're coming from, and just welcome to this conversation. So we are almost halfway through the year. Next month, at the end of next month, we'll mark halfway through the year. And sometimes what happens when we are halfway through the year is we start reflecting on what did I want at the beginning of January to be able to achieve. And because we have a clue about what it is that we wanted to achieve, we keep checking, am I where I wanted to be? So you'll fall in either one of these two categories. Either you're progressing well generally, or you're progressing well in some life areas, but there are others where you're not seeing the progress that you desire. Or you are in that place of now you're feeling stuck, you're feeling confused, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling disappointed. So I don't know which one of those two areas you are. Just put them in the chat and I'll encourage you, right? So you're either progressing well overall or in some life areas and others you're not. Or generally, you're just feeling now a bit overwhelmed because we are seeing if we are halfway through the year, it means we don't have much time till the end of the year and we wanted to achieve a lot. So maybe you're in that place of overwhelm, you're feeling stuck, you're feeling confused, you're feeling a little disappointed because this is not where you thought you're going to be. And so my encouragement for you is to mom up, and I'm going to share with you one strategy. I'm calling it a shift strategy that you can take so that you're able to be in that place where you start seeing changes in your life, even for the next 7 months to the end of the year. So today I have said that my conversation is around, it's all about that tiny step. It's all about that tiny step. What is it you want to accomplish? It's all about that tiny step. I don't want you to be too overwhelmed that you do nothing, or too disappointed that you stay in that place of just feeling sorry for yourself instead of doing something. My encouragement through Mom Up today is that what is that tiny step that you can already take in the right direction? Remember, moms, that the life that you desire, that God-approved life that you want, the picture that you have in your mind, imagine it's within reach. And part of the reason we are disappointed, we are stuck, we are overwhelmed, we are confused, it's because we have a picture in our mind. And that's a good thing, because then you're able to tell, I'm not where I wanted to be. So remember, it's all about that tiny step. And so as you come in, please remember to say hello, where you're coming from. If you're doing replay, remember to do a hashtag replay. Let me confirm, I think I am live. Yeah, and I've seen a person joining. All right, so I just want to give you maybe areas that you could, the reason why you could be feeling a little stuck. Number one, maybe you have too much choice. Sometimes if you go into a buffet table, there's so much choice. You don't know, what am I going to leave? What am I going to take? Sometimes too much choice makes us stuck, makes us overwhelmed, makes us to be in that place of confusion because everything looks very nice, everything looks necessary, everything looks important. And so sometimes, and so I want you, as you're reflecting now towards, as we're going through to halfway through the year, I want you to ask yourself, am I feeling overwhelmed, disappointed, confused, stuck because I have too much choice? Like there's so many things that I truly, truly, truly want to achieve and I'm not seeing them happening. Could it be that number two, everything is important? So you not only have too much choice, but all those choices, there's none that you can drop. All of them are necessary. All of them are important, because sometimes we don't know how to do the separation, because everything seems like it must be done now. It must be done by end June. It must be done by whenever your next milestone, birthday, or a deadline that you set that is important for you is. And so you're seeing the deadline is fast approaching, or the period you set for yourself is fast approaching. So you start feeling overwhelmed, you start feeling confused, start feeling disappointed, because you had said by March I want to have achieved this, by end of April I want to have achieved this, and here we are almost approaching end of May, June is coming, and we'll be saying 6 months done, 6 months to go. And so it could be, number one, too much choice, or maybe that they're not just so many choices, but that they are all important. The other thing is that they are not only too many choices, they're not only all important, but we want to achieve all of them. Yeah. And so you'll go into that place of confusion. You go into that place of just feeling confused and disappointed in yourself, because they're not only too many, they're not only important, but you want to make sure that you accomplish them all by the time that you have set. And so as the deadline comes, you almost feel constricted, and you now start almost panicking and just feeling paralyzed. In fact, the best word is paralyzed. And sometimes when we are paralyzed, especially mentally, then we don't do anything. You go into this place where you hide your head under the sand, because you assume, I can't do it all. And so what happens is, instead of just taking that tiny step, tiny, not massive, not big, tiny, instead of taking that tiny step or doing just a little, we are so overwhelmed, we are so paralyzed, we can't do anything. And number four, it could be that you didn't even have a concrete plan in the first place. Maybe you're different from the person who already had a plan, who had too much choice, all important choices, and all want to be done. Maybe you're in that category of people who did not finalize their plan at the beginning of the year or the planning period. Maybe you've been saying, oh, I had a good quarter one, and I need to plan for quarter two. Quarter two is coming to an end next month. Having said that, my encouragement is always, every day is a nice day to begin. And so my encouragement to all of you, regardless of which category you fall in, that's making you be in that place of overwhelm, of stuck, or just feeling, it's too much, I want you to check your progress. Check your progress, or what you call gain. Check your progress. In January, where were you compared to where you are now? You may not be where you want to be, but there must be a little progress that you have made, and that's okay. So check your progress. Instead of just looking at, I've not completed, you need to look at, say, what have I done already that I can be proud of, and tell God, thank you for what I've been able to achieve already, even as I plan to finish the rest. And so, again, I've seen new friends coming in. So we are just having a conversation in Mom Up about, it's all about that tiny step. And I said that maybe you fall into two categories. Either, number one, you're progressing very well in some life areas or generally, or number two, you're just feeling overwhelmed completely, or confused, or disappointed, and I don't know where you're at. So let me know as you're coming in so that I can share that. So in those two categories. So, and then I said that I'm going to share with you one shift category strategy that you can take, so that then you move towards that place of taking a tiny step in the right direction. And then I said you could be in this place of overwhelm, of disappointed, or feeling stuck, confused, because of four things. Either you have so much choice. Number two, you not only have so much choice, all those choices are important to you. You not only have so much choice, all important, but you want to do all of them. Or you fall into the fourth category, where you don't even have the concrete plan. So you don't even know what it is that you're working towards. When you wake up in the morning, you're not sure what's the end result that you desire. And so I don't know which of those four categories. Please let me know in the comments, even as you go. Today, I want to touch on everybody, generally every mom, but I want to speak a little bit for 1 minute to moms who are employed. Not those who are self-employed, but those who are employed. I want to just give you a little encouragement. Number one, I know that bosses demand a lot, and especially now, because we have a lot of selfish bosses. We have a lot of bosses who are already under pressure from whether it's a board or the management of a company. And so they trickle that down. to all of us who are on the ground level. And so what happens is you just feel like you're working late, so you're not even being a mom, you're not being a wife, you're not taking care of your family, and you feel guilty. Or sometimes you're working in the house, which means you're working late, but at home. And I just want to encourage you to always think back at, where was I going? Like, how is this job serving me? It must be serving you in a certain way. When I was in human resource, because that's my line of study and that's what I worked at the end of the day, when I used to talk to fellow colleagues, we were in some jobs, just staying because we have family to feed, we have a construction that's happening, you have a plot, you have ID you want to buy, you have schools that you desire your children to learn in, and through this company and the salary that they pay you, you're able to do that. That maybe there's a dream that you've had to travel somewhere. There's something that's making you stay in that job. So my encouragement to you is, don't lose your vision because of, the strain that comes with employment nowadays. We don't have as many kind employers, and so just be encouraged. So I want you to keep assessing and reprioritizing. Keep assessing what it is that you're doing, keep prioritizing, all right? So just make sure you're in that place where you're always checking, am I doing okay? But what I will tell you is, just know your limits. Know your limits, know what you can take, because you do not want to lose your life and your family not to have a mom because of a boss, because of a very well-paying job. Don't do that. My desire for you is that you find what I call a venting solution, a place where you can take a pillow and scream, whatever that looks like. Is it treating yourself, doing self-care? Because yesterday in my post, I said self-care is not selfish. Find a way that you have a venting solution, so that this job is so important to the vision you have of yourself and your family. It's very hard to shift to a better job right now. If you get it, well and good. But in the meantime, find a venting solution. Otherwise, you're going to lose it. And we don't want to do that. Moms who are working are being productive and they are helping in the marketplace. Moms like us who work from home also helping in the marketplace. But if I'm tired, I can take a walk, I can take a break, I can pace myself. But for you who's always being eyed, always being checked, that high pressure may not always be good. So find yourself a venting solution, a scream in the pillow type of a thing, so that you make sure that you take care of yourself. Your children, they really, really need you. And next week, we'll be having a conversation around, why moms stay in toxic relationships. So not just work, but also it could be coming from a bad, high pressure, a good job that you love, that you're contributing, but it's high pressure, and then come home to just a toxic environment. So why do moms stay in toxic environments? We are going to talk about that next week. But for now, my encouragement to you, this overwhelm, this disappointment, the stuckness, the confusion could just be coming because of the high pressure and demands from everybody. And so you have to work because you need this job, because the money, especially, single moms, they don't have somebody else they can fall back to. It is all on them. And so you stay in a job that is high pressure and sometimes it's not serving you too well. Don't lose focus of your vision and why you're staying there, so that whatever it is that's coming at you, you're remembering, I'm here because of my vision. Stay on God, and everything will be okay, all right? When I was in HR, one of the things that I was doing is, when somebody passes away, to write like a statement from the company just to say what kind of person this one was. But you know what? The next tab is job description. So your employer doesn't love you so much that you need to stretch yourself, forget who you are, forget your family, make sure that you have a way as your assess your priorities and keep restructuring your priorities, all right? So that if you can take a break for family, take a break for family, so that you can give yourself fully to your family, kabisa, and but take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. We used to do job descriptions to advertise the job of the person who has left in the same breath as we are celebrating them. Like, they'll move on. The company won't love you the way you thought. Having left 2 companies already from my employment, like, work goes on, things go on without you. So don't carry yourself like you're the lifeline of this organization that you lose who you are, you lose where you are going and the vision that you had for yourself and for your family. So I just wanted to encourage those who are employed a little bit. I think I forget them because most of the moms that I work with are moms who are self-employed, whether they're single moms or in married. All right, so there are three things that I want to take from this discussion of Mom Up today. But before we do that, this is the strategy that I want you to take as you're thinking about the little tiny step. I want you to ask yourself, and please write this down in your notebook, in your workbook, what's the immediate breakthrough outcome or result I desire? What's that? If, like breathe in, breathe out, and ask yourself, what is that one immediate breakthrough or outcome result that I want? Because I know there are so many things that we have to do and so many things that we have to manage as moms, but what's that immediate? Don't think too huge. What's that immediate thing that you can be doing that will lead you towards your vision? Because sometimes we forget that we can't do it all. And sometimes when you're overwhelmed, you lose yourself. You'll find yourself sleeping because you're overwhelmed. Either, like I said before, you have too much choice, everything is important, you want to do it all, or you actually have no plan in the first place. So the shift strategy that I want you to take from today's conversation is, what's the immediate breakthrough outcome result that I desire? And the reason why I'm guiding you with this is because I felt that way between mid of towards the transition of Q1 and Q2. I was just feeling a little overwhelmed because I have a good plan for myself, and but at some point I just felt it's so much, and you reach that place of feeling disappointed because you're like, I really hoped by this time I'll have done this. You feel confused because you're like, what do I tackle first? And so I had to pause and I was like, God help me, like what can I do? If I was guiding a mom, like those who call me, what advice would I give them? And so that's how this shift strategy came. What's the immediate breakthrough? What's the immediate outcome? What's the immediate result I desire? Because once I was able to answer that question, then I did that one thing, all right? Because remember I said today it's all about that tiny step. It's all about move, in a tiny step. So three things as we are coming to a conclusion of Mom Up for today is, number one, as you're thinking through what is the immediate breakthrough outcome or result you desire, start with asking yourself, what's the pressing problem of all the things, of all these things, choices that I have, all these things that I want to accomplish, which of them needs a solution now? Must I tackle now? It's urgent that I tackle it now. So order your priorities or choices in order of urgency. So which one must be tackled first? So whether you're employed, self-employed, stay-at-home mom, in whichever category God has called you, and that's where you're serving him, ask yourself, what's the first pressing, what's urgent? That's one of the ways that you can start finding out the thing that you need to do. Number two is you ask yourself, which one has the most gain or benefit for my bigger vision, whether it's at work or in your family life? Which one has the most gain or benefit? Remember, you have a vision. There's a reason that you're staying in that workplace, right? There's a reason why you are still staying in that job, even though you might not feel like you like it at this moment. It's okay. It's serving something. It's helping you stay in a home that you love. It's helping you take your children to a school that you like. It's helping you have some luxuries that you'd not otherwise if you don't have that job. So what's the gain? What's the gain? Which one has the most gain of all those choices, so that you tackle that one? And if you're not sure about what is urgent, if you're not sure which one has the most gain or benefit, then the tiny step, that tiny step that you can take is the third thing. And that's, what's the low-hanging fruit? Low-hanging fruit for short people like us, we can be able to just pull them from the tree. We don't need to climb the tree to get the apple or the orange. When my grandfather used to be there and we used to help him graze, we used to climb to pick oranges from the tree. But there are some, you can just pull them, when you're standing, or you just need to tiptoe, or you just do a little leap and you're going to get. So what's the lowest win? Like a low-hanging fruit, what's a quick win that you can get so that it gives you momentum to now pursue the others. So even as you're prioritizing and finding what's the most urgent, or finding which one has the most gain towards the vision that I desire for my life or for my family's life, you can start with a quick win. Because once you get a quick win, that adrenaline rush, that excitement will give you momentum to now start crushing the others. So don't stay in that place of overwhelm. It's all about the tiny step that you can take. And so as I come to a conclusion, I want to share this verse with you, which is the takeaway. So you have two things. You have this strategy. Ask yourself, what is the immediate breakthrough outcome, the result I desire? Answer that and write it down. Don't just think it in your mind, write it down, because when you write it down, you'll be able to now start planning how you're going to execute it. And then remember that it's all about that tiny step. And the way you're going to make this happen is, this is the encouragement from Philippians 4 verse 6. The Bible says, don't worry about anything, all right? So it's an instruction, don't worry. So there's always choice. There's many things that you want to accomplish. Yes, the year is coming to halfway through and you're feeling, I needed to do this. Or maybe it's a milestone birthday and you had some goals that you must crush, but you're just feeling time is moving so fast and you're feeling overwhelmed or disappointed, stuck a little maybe. But just remember, the Bible says, don't worry about anything. And then the Bible gives you the alternative. It says instead. So it says, I know you're going to worry, but instead of worrying, do this instead. And it says, pray about everything. And so if you're feeling disappointed, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling stuck, if you're just feeling confused, whatever it is right now that's causing you not to progress in the right direction, the Bible says, pray about everything and tell God what you need and thank him for all he has done. This is the NLT version of the Bible, but allow me to emphasize something that is in the Amplified version. When it talks about everything, it clarifies every circumstance and situation. So whatever circumstance or situation you're in, whether you're a full-time employed mom or full-time working mom from home and or full-time stay-at-home mom, whichever calling God has given you, whichever circumstance or situation you're in and you're feeling stuck, pray about everything. Pray about that and bring it to the Lord. Yesterday, I hung clothes and then I went to pick the children and then it started drizzling a little or looking like it's going to rain. And when the kids came in, I was like, let's pray. Like God to just hold the rain until we get home, pick the clothes, because I couldn't imagine them staying another day. And you know what? That tiny prayer, because that was my circumstance, God was able to just hold the rain. And imagine when we picked the last outfit, it started drizzling. And that's how God works. Like, just pray about everything. It can be small things. I've lost a peg, I've lost a key. It can be the littlest thing. But instead of worrying about it, pray about everything. And then when it talks about tell God what you need, the Amplified version says, continue to make your specific requests known to God. So specific. Just tell God what you need. Yeah, tell God what you need. If it's just tell me what that tiny step is, imagine he's going to help you. If you just need to know what's that immediate breakthrough outcome result that will just help me gain my momentum to move forward, he will give you. So as we conclude, Mom Up, my encouragement for you to take that tiny step in the right direction is to not worry about anything. And we worry, yeah? Remember, I was worrying about it raining. Pray. Instead, pray. Instead, tell God what it is that you need, and then thank him for what he has done. So we are 5 months in. Thank him for the journey that he has brought you, the progress that you have had for the last 5 months or 4.5 months at this point. And then as you pray for the next months ahead. So thank you so much for listening. Please, if you are watching the replay, just let me know. I am happy to just share your comments and also just reply. Thank you for taking the time. Somebody was hanging out with me. Thank you. And God bless you all. Thank you.